Okay, look at the characters we have in the Spinball Disc Wave. We got Sonic, Tails, Amy, Knuckles, Shadow, a running Sonic, and E102 Gamma, which is a robot. This reminds me of a toy line from years ago. Hello people of the interwebs, this is Luke Moore back with another toy review, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the jakks Sonic the Hedgehog figures Wave 2. Well, at least 75% of it, because one of them is just a reissue figure. So yeah, these things were supposed to be released in spring of 2020, which is right now, but they end up releasing right at the end of 2019, and I actually had these since like December, January, but I figured why not review them at the time when they were supposed to be released. So before we get into these, let's take a look at the packaging. Okay, so here we got the box, and it's basically the same as the last wave. You got a render of Sonic here. It's got bendable and flexible. Just 3 and up, where the figure sits, where the accessory sits, Sonic the Hedgehog, the name of the character, jakks logo. On the back, you got Sonic the Hedgehog, picture of the figure and how the accessories work. You fold and spin, and then the rest of the figures in this wave, and collect them all. So yeah, it's a really nice box. Looks really good. So with that, let's get into the figures. Okay, so here we got the figures themselves. So this wave contains Metal Sonic, Super Sonic, Dr. Robotnik, and Sonic. Now, I didn't get the Sonic in this wave because it's just a reissue of the Sonic we got in Wave 1. So if you want my opinion on this, go watch my review of the first wave. So yeah, with that, let's take a look at the new guys. Okay, so first up we got Dr. Robotnik, which is actually called Eggman according on the package, but I'm just going to call him Robotnik because I like that name better, and if you don't like that, then screw you. But yeah, overall, as you can see, jakks did a really good job with the sculpt with these. Now, unfortunately with mine, all of them have some sort of paint error. On Robotnik here, his nose is not fully painted on this side and the bottom. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But the sculpt is really good. He got goggles on his head, his glasses, which look really cool because it has this like effect. Here, his mustache, which is very, very fragile, so just be careful with that. You got his jacket, his hands, and you got his very long, lanky legs, and his big feet. And since they're so big, that means he has no problem standing. And because he is a bendy figure, that means they only have 1 point of articulation, and that is in the head. You can move and go up and down, but you gotta be very careful with it because again the mustache is very fragile. But yeah, and of course the arms and the legs are on wires, which I'm not gonna pose because the wires are very hard to straighten out, which makes the joints wiggly, so I don't want to deal with all that. But yeah, he looks really good, but there is one problem with him. He is, as you can see, a little bit shorter than he needs to be. And I can understand because the wire is a certain like width, and if they actually did proportion him with the rest, they will not move well because the wire is too thick and the joints would be too thick and he just wouldn't move that well. But he's kind of in the same vein as the SH Figuarts Bowser, where he doesn't look good in its own line, but he looks good in other lines. Like this looks really good with like the Tomy mini figures, and even the Jazzwares 3.75-inch figures. So yeah, it's basically Robotnik. Overall, he looks really good. Next up, we got Supersonic, and again, he looks very good. He's also got an articulated head, but it has the same problem as the normal Sonic, where it's just very, very stiff and doesn't really work as a ball joint. But yeah, the sculpt is really good. He's got his Super Saiyan-esque quills here, and it's got his red eyes and the mouth with a frown, which is actually on the opposite side, opposed to the normal Sonic when it was on this side. He's got his stomach here, and I do have a pink blemish here, but oh well. It's got the same shoes, which have the same glossy finish as normal Sonic, and his hand is molded the same as Shadow, where you can put a Chaos Emerald in it, but he doesn't come with the Chaos Emerald, so it's kind of disappointing. Now, despite being a variant of Sonic, it's not the same figure. Like, if you compare it to the normal Sonic, as you can see, he's a bit taller, and of course the head's different, but the whole body is different. The hands are resculpted, and the shoes are resculpted. So, not only is this just a variant, it's a completely 100% new mold, which means this is a completely different figure. And I really like that. I think it makes it worth picking up just for that reason. Now, there are like 3 problems here. The first one, which is minor, just like with Wave 1, initially the fists are facing palm outward, so you have to like work with it to try to face it the right way. Not a big deal. Now, the 2 problems is that the arms are yellow, which I don't understand. Because the prototype and the picture on the back of the box has him with the right arms. So I don't know what happened with this first run. They actually re-released him. The second run actually had him with the right colored arms. That was released about like a month or 2 ago. So yeah, it's kind of like with when Jazzwares made the Supersonic, where they had the quills down the long way, and then they re-released them with them facing the right direction. So yeah, I don't know what it is, but companies don't really get Supersonic down right first try. And another problem that I have with them is that his bottom of his feet have a little bit of a curve to it, and on top of that, these quills make him very back heavy, so it's basically impossible for him to stand up straight without really leaning him. You have to lean him more than Tails, actually. But I think that's kind of a benefit, because instead of just like looking dead straight, he kind of like has this tilt to it, so it kind of makes him look badass. So yeah, overall, Supersonic is really good. He's not my favorite, but still good. And finally, we got Metal Sonic, and again, it looks really good. So much detail to him, and the eyes, and this thing right here, and you got the back here, which is actually painted, which is amazing, and his shoes look good, and the bottom of his shoes have so much detail. I'm actually really impressed by this, considering that these are like $9 figures. And yeah, the silver on here is not actually metallic silver, it's just a flat gray, but it still looks good nonetheless. And one thing I like about him and Robotnik is that his arm is actually facing the right way. You don't have to turn it around to get like this. So yay, they learned their lesson with the villains. So yeah, and like the others, he has a ball joint at the head, and it's actually really good. And his neck is a little long, but it doesn't really like distract it from the sculpt, and you can take it off if you wish. So yeah, Metal Sonic is probably my favorite, but there is one problem. Since it has a lot of like sculpted detail that could be actual articulation, you got some parts that kind of get broken. Like this, it's starting to rip off, and the legs. It seems like when you get him out of package, it seems like he has like ankle and wrist articulation, but trust me, they don't. If you try to do that, they will. The plastic of the mold will rip and just eventually break off. But yeah, that's basically it with him, and I just really do like him. So yeah, that's basically it with the figures. Now let's get into the accessories. Okay, so just like the first wave, each figure comes with a spinnable disc of another character that's in the Game Boy Advance sprites. So in this wave we got E102 Gamma, Shadow, and variants of Sonic and Tails. The Tails variant comes with Sonic. The Sonic variant comes with Super Sonic. Shadow comes with Metal Sonic, and E102 Gamma comes with Dr. Robotnik. And yeah, they are kind of different. As you can see, compared to Wave 1, the color of the background actually matches more with the color of the plastic. So that's pretty neat. But they had to ruin it with one thing. By plastering the Sega logo on one side. I don't know why they did that, so it only looks good in one direction. And they have the same action feature. You just push down and does a spin dash type thing. And just like the last ones, they have little notches in them where you can fold out pieces so it can become like a minifigure. So this side is the legs, and this side right here is a extra piece. In this case being his hover pack thing. And they do all come with a stand, which have numbers on them. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know why they do that, but yeah, you can just plant them right there. My Gamma stand is extremely tight, so it just wants to pop off. So yeah, there's that. We got the Sonic variant. I got his body and his spikes right here, and as you can see, he's in a running pose. And compared to the first Sonic, the plastic is actually a darker shade of blue, so that's really nice. Again, it makes it different. So just put him on the stand here. And here's the Tails variant, and as you can see, he's in a flying pose, which is cool. But it looks like he is a darker shade of yellow than the previous Tails, but looks like the stand is the same yellow as the first Tails, so yeah, that's kind of weird. And with Shadow, let's get the body and his quills. There, let's put them on the stand like that. And again, these aren't bad. In fact, they've actually grown on me since Wave 1, but I still hold that they should not be accessories. These things deserve to be like in blind packs or its own separate pack of figures. I would really prefer if they came with like rings or Chaos Emeralds, etc., but I guess they're probably too expensive to keep the figures in that $9 range, so I don't know, but overall I do like these, but they're not worth being accessories, so yeah, that's pretty much it with these. Now let's get into the final thoughts. So overall, I really do like these figures, even though mine do have some paint flaws, like with the nose and the stomach and a little chip here in the arm. I forgot to mention that, but yeah, these guys still look good, and I think they are sturdy enough that they could be played with, considering that this line is solely for kids. But yeah, now of course, since these are bendy figures, they're not going to be for everyone. So, but they are going to come out with articulated figures in the future, so you can just wait for Jakks Pacific to release those. And yeah, and Wave 3 of these just released like about a week ago, and they're basically just sports variants of the Wave 1 characters. I did get Sonic off of Amazon. It's going to be here in about a week or two, and I will do a review on that, but I just don't know when. But yeah, overall, if you got Wave 1, I don't think there's any excuse to pick up Wave 2. But just make sure the Supersonic actually has the right colored arms. So yeah, that's basically going to be it with me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Follow me on Instagram. It's going to be in my channel description. And I'll see you in the next video whenever I make it. So, bye-bye, folks.